Dr. Anil Kumar Uppala, respected Principal Dr. R.V. Krishnaya Garu, Honorable Director Professor N. Venkatrao Garu, HOD of ECE Department Dr. N. Vijay Shankar Garu, conveners of this program Professor A. Raghavaraju, Professor K. Manoj Pavan Kumar, and all the participants from various institutions across the country. A wonderful morning to everyone. I deem it great privilege to welcome you all on behalf of Chebrolu Engineering College to this one-week national level FDP on overview of artificial intelligence and its applications in speech processing, which is being organized by the Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering. We extend our heartfelt thanks to the members of the organizing committee for their relentless efforts in organizing this program. We would like to express our deep sense of gratitude to Dr. Anil Kumar for accepting our invitation to be the keynote speaker of this program. We assure that all the participants will have very stimulating and scintillating sessions during this week. May I now take the pleasure of introducing our principal, Dr. R.V. Krishnaya Garu. He is a towering personality, a man of self-discipline with exceptional leadership qualities. He played an instrumental role in the flourishment of this institution, which is slowly but steadily making strides in the right direction under his esteemed leadership. He has double MA, one in ECE from NIT Warangal and one in CSC from JNTU Hyderabad. He was awarded a doctorate in ECE from JNTU Anantapur. He has more than 150 publications in national and international journals. He has organized and attended several conferences and workshops. He rendered his services in various capacities as assistant professor, associate professor, and principal at many engineering colleges over 3 decades. He keeps insisting in lifelong learning to update ourselves and deepen our knowledge and ultimately help in the technological advancement of our country. I would like to cordially welcome our principal to share his views on this occasion. Krishnaya sir. Hello, Krishnaya sir.
I will talk at the end. Last session lo maatladtanu. I will talk at the end. So first sir icheseyandi.
Okay, I deem it great honor to present the profile of our keynote speaker, Dr. Anil Kumar. Dr. Anil Kumar Uppala completed his BTech in Electronics and Communication Engineering from JNTU Hyderabad in 2005 and MTech from NIT Kurukshetra in 2007. He was conferred with a doctorate from IIT Kharagpur in 2012. He started his career as an assistant professor at IIIT Hyderabad. Currently, he is rendering his services as an associate professor at that institute. His research interests lie primarily in speech processing in wireless environment, speech recognition, and speaker recognition. He has published 5 book chapters, 62 international conference papers, and has authored and co-authored several national and international publications. He is also a reviewer for many reputed professional journals. He completed 6 funded projects and is currently handling 3 sponsored projects. He successfully guided 2 PhD students and at present guiding 6 full-time PhD scholars. He has delivered many guest lectures and more than 50 invited talks at workshops and conferences. He was a visiting faculty at Aalto University, Finland in 2018. He has been the guest editor for Springer Speech Technology Journal, special issue on speech, speaker, and language recognition in suboptimal environments. He is the Board of Studies member for several reputed engineering colleges. He received many awards and acclaims. May I now humbly welcome our keynote speaker, Dr. Anil Kumar, to commence today's session.
Yeah,
It's
thank
over
you.
to you, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for inviting here. So it is 5 days workshop. So it will go like this. So I will give overview of speech processing in today's session, and tomorrow I will give you overview of machine learning and artificial intelligence and machine learning. And later I will spend one session on machine learning versus deep learning. Then I will talk on application, speech application, speaker recognition, and emotion recognition application, and there I will also show the demos as well. Okay. So I thought of starting with AI and machine learning today, but just I finished one webinar for somebody on AI, so I am postponing it to tomorrow. So today I will talk on speech processing, basics of speech processing. Can you able to hear me? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Carry on, sir.
Can you make me co-host so that I can share my screen? Can you see my screen now?
Yes, sir, it is visible, sir.
Okay. Yeah, in this session, we'll see what are the applications of speech processing, and then we'll show some 1 or 2 demos, and then wind up this session. And next session we'll start with overview of AI, artificial intelligence. Okay. Because in this FDP we are trying to cover AI application in view of speech processing. So what is speech? Speech is nothing but, speech is a legal sequence of legal sounds produced by human being. That means whenever you want to convey some message, you will formulate the speech and convey to other persons. So the goal of speech processing is to make human computer interaction as natural as possible, because speech is our natural mode of communication. Okay, speech is our natural mode of communication. So whenever you want to talk to your friend or your family member, you will use speech as a mode. But if you want to operate a machine, or you want to operate your mobile, we have to use touch screen or keyboard. So that because machine understands text, so actually because of that, only machines or computers or mobiles effectively will be used only by people who are educated. Other people can't use it, because they need text as an input. Many people may not know how to read and write the text, but all people know how to speak, at least their mother tongue, because speech is our natural mode of communication. So the broad goal of speech processing is to make human computer interaction as natural as possible. Okay, already we are using some of these applications. I think all of you might have heard are using Apple Siri, Microsoft Cortana, or Google Assistant, Amazon Alexa. These are the applications of speech. So you might have heard Amazon Alexa, that you can talk to Alexa and get the information. Okay. Alexa can understand your speech and also reply back in speech. So for these 2 basic systems required are speech recognition and the speech synthesis. If you ask what are the two systems in speech, with 2 prominent systems, if you ask, those are speech recognition and speech synthesis. There are other applications also, I will come to that. But speech recognition and speech synthesis are the basic modules which can make it possible that interaction make it possible. So speech recognition means speech to text conversion, that whatever this Google Assistant or Alexa is doing. And speech synthesis means text to speech. Speech recognition means machine is understanding your speech. Speech synthesis means machine is speaking to you. Okay, so you might have already used these applications, right? Speech recognition, as I told, Alexa and all other things. Speech synthesis also all of you might have used, right? OK Google, not OK Google Maps. So whenever you want to go from one source to destination, you will put in the Google Maps, and Google Maps tells that go straight for 200 meters, take turn left, turn right, something like that. So already information there on the maps, but that speech technology, that speech synthesis technology will help you to convert the text into speech so that you don't need to see the maps. You can listen it and follow and drive. Okay, so speech synthesis applications are also in place and you are already using in the form of Google Maps and railway announcements like that. And other systems like speaker recognition, language and speech and emotion recognition, these are the other systems, because speech is very rich signal. Once somebody speaks, for example, I said I am Anil. Okay, just I told I am Anil. It has a lot of information. Okay, one thing is that what is the message in that. Okay, second thing is that what language I am using, and third is that what emotion I am in speaking, whether I am speaking normally or whether I am speaking happily, angrily, like that. And you can also get information like what is the who is speaking, first of all, because everybody's speech is different, and that signature of that every person is there in their speech. So you can also see you are not worrying about what is spoken. You are worried about, let us say, who is speaking. That who is speaking is speaker recognition, and also it has gender information, age information. So much information is embedded in the speech signal. So if you want to extract that information automatically from the speech signal, then we have to use artificial intelligence or this machine learning approaches. We have to train the system. So if you understand all these things like speech recognition, speaker recognition, language recognition, everything your human brain is doing automatically, right? When somebody speaks to you, if you know that language, and once you are grown up, once your anybody of your friend or family member speaks, your brain understands, right? Your brain understands the message, your brain understands the who is speaking and everything. Now the way your friend or family member, that machine also want to interact with you, or you want to interact with the machine. So we have to create that intelligence to the machine artificially. So for that, we need to use some artificial intelligence approaches to build these systems. Okay. So speaker recognition means identifying the speaker from the speech signal, and language identification means identifying a language from the speech signal. Emotion recognition means identifying emotion from the speech signal. Because all this information is embedded in the speech signal, we have to train appropriate machine learning models and perform these tasks by the machine. And in between, we have things like speech analysis. The main goal of speech analysis is to extract the features from the speech so that we can build these systems. That is a role of speech analysis. Speech coding. Speech coding is a compact way of representing the speech. So you can see sometimes you might have confused. Your friend is calling from unknown number. You may not be able to recognize their voice immediately because it is not their original speech. It is coded and decoded back speech. Here, this coding means speech coding. I'm not talking about channel coding. I'm talking about speech coding or source coding. There, what we do is that usually to represent the speech signal, we need 64 kbps. Minimum bitrate required is 64 kbps. This 64 kbps means 8 kilohertz sampling rate, because usually speech has frequencies up to 4 kilohertz. So 8 kilohertz sampling rate and 8 bits per sample quantization. The quantization will use 8 bits, total 64 bits. So if you want to transmit the signal from transmitter to receiver, we need 64 kbps. But our wireless channel bandwidth is very limited, right? You may see that whenever some festival or January 1st comes, it says all lines are busy. So because our channel bandwidth is limited, so we don't want to send that 64 kbps. We'll use the speech coding technology, because the speech has redundancy in that. Some redundancy is there in the speech signal that I will show anyway. I will show you in little while. I will show you the speech signal. There you can see some redundancies. By exploiting that redundancies, we can decode that you can encode that 64 kbps to up to even 13 kbps, 12.2 kbps, and even 4.8 kbps. So like that. So we can encode that 64 to some low bit rate, and at the receiver side, we can decode back from that low bit rate to 64 kbps. It is slightly lossy process, message will be preserved, but some speaker characteristics or some characteristics will be compromised. That's why, you will confuse if somebody calls from unknown number, okay? Because their speech will be slightly degraded, but overall message will be preserved. That is the goal of speech coding. Now, currently, your mobile technology is using AMR coder, adapt to multi-rate coder. That means depending on the quality of the speech segment, it will use different bit rates, starting from 4.75 kbps to 12.2 kbps. If the frame or signal is important, it will give high bit rate. If it is not important, then it will give 4.75 kbps. Or if it is in between, it will give other bit rates. So, and now next technology, that 5G and technology is trying to do with enhanced voice service coding. So those are the different coding techniques people employ in speech processing. And there is something called speech enhancement. That speech enhancement means before giving speech signal to these systems like speech recognition, speaker recognition, it is better to enhance sometimes, because your speech signal may be degraded with different kinds of noise. To reduce that noise, we can use some signal processing algorithms. Even now for signal enhancement also people are using machine learning. And then after enhancing the signal, they are give it to the system. Speech can be degraded with the 3 kinds of noises. For example, background noise. For example, I'm speaking here, now fan is running and some AC is running, let us say. That background noise also will be picked up by microphone. Or let us say you are at railway station or bus stand and you want to use speech application, then that noise will be there. Okay, that is a background noise is one issue. And second issue is the reverberation. Whenever you are in a closed room or hall, or open hall, and if you speak, your microphone will get the echoes also. Along with the original speech, reverberations also will come, that need to be reduced. Third noise is the biggest problematic one, is the noise is also speech, unwanted speech. That means system want to recognize your speech, and along with your friend or somebody also speaking, microphone pick up both the signals. So it is important to suppress the other speech and enhance the original desired speech. That is a big problem. That is called multi-speaker noise, or cocktail party noise, or babble noise. These are all synonyms. So that is one of the biggest difficult noise to enhance the speech. So there are several algorithms are developed in literature to enhance the speech. Now language and emotion I touched upon, and other technology is called voice conversion. Now it is not that big application, not much work happening in voice conversion right now. Voice conversion means how system can do mimicry. That means converting one source speaker voice to other speaker voice. Now technology has come that even if you give some half an hour or 1 hour of somebody's speech, I can convert, I can make like as if he is speaking. For example, now technology is available. I can take 1 or 2 hours of Modi or Prime Minister Modi or somebody celebrity voice, and I can make the system that whatever the text I will give, it will speak as if like those people are speaking. Okay. So now as the technology is developed, this voice conversion, converting one speaker voice to other speaker voice lost the prominence. Otherwise, these are the different speech technologies. And currently in India and in Europe and few other countries, another problem which got a lot of attention is the speech-to-speech translation. Speech-to-speech translation means converting one language speech to other language. You can see that block diagram here. Yeah, this is the speech-to-speech translation block diagram. So now speech technology and this text processing improved, so they want to now do speech-to-speech translation. That means one language, let us say I want to talk from Andhra to, let us say, West Bengal. Okay, so I will call, and the Telugu speech recognition will be activated here, and then understand, convert that Telugu speech into Bengali speech, and then use Bengali speech to speech synthesis system to speak for convey that message to the Bengali person. So and next cycle will be, she will speak in Bengali, and that will be recognized and convert into Telugu, and Telugu synthesizer will be used. So this is the called speech to speech translation. This is requires automatic speech recognition. In between here, machine translation. That means one language text to other language, and also we need text to speech, that speech synthesis technology. So if you combine these three technologies, you can achieve that speech to speech machine translation. But speech to speech machine translation is not easy, because when you speak, understanding the exact meaning and conveying that exact meaning in the other language voice is not easy, but people are trying to attempt that. Especially a lot of work is happening now, how to convert that NPTEL or Swayam or UGC lectures, which are there in primarily in English, to convert into at least major Indian languages through these technology or through manually. Manually doing that is extremely time-taking process and difficulty. So now they are trying to use these technologies plus manpower, some amount of human intervention. So automatically these systems can't convert one language to other language, but in between they can use human intervention. But without any help of these technologies, it is taking a lot of time. With these technologies, it is saving some time. So now a lot of prominence, or a lot of emphasis is now happening on speech to speech translation. Very soon you also will get a lot of buzz around these things. And this speech has a lot of applications, like speech to speech translation, just now we discussed, and spoken dialogue systems. For example, some are voice activated services are there, but still it requires input as a input as a text. For example, you call to call center, it will ask press 1 for Telugu, press 2 for English. Again, it will ask something like that. But that means it is not fully spoken dialogue system. It is like they are giving the voice form, but you have to enter in the text form only. That's where many of our old people are uneducated people. They don't call to call center because they don't know how to press 1, press 2, and how to tell the language and those things. So only educated people can use those applications. But for example, you can give an application where somebody simply calls to some number and talk and then get the required information. That is called spoken dialogue system, and which is very much needed in a country like India. Yeah, and speech synthesis, as I told, railway announcements, Google Maps, they are already used. You are already using them. Speaker recognition also, I think all of you are using. My son is just 6 years old. From last 2 years, he will go to Play Store and say car game. You will go to put the microphone and say car game, because you don't know how to write car game. Then you will speak and then get the information, okay, and install and playing. So like that, it has speech recognition is already we are using in many places. And speaker recognition also can be used for forensic investigation purpose and speech-based authentication. I think some laptops have that speech-based application. I think all of you might have remembered that Shivaji movie. In that, hero uses speech-based password to the laptop. Similarly, we can also these applications are also coming up. And yeah, speech coding in digital communication is people are using from long. As I told, AMR coder, adaptive multi-rate coder, and enhanced voice service coders. These are the examples of this speech coding in digital communication. This is the example of figure is the example of spoken dialogue system. Just I want to get the flight information. Just I will speak to the machine, and machine understands my query and get the answer from the web and display it here, or you can even speak for it. Okay. Just of displaying, you can even speak that information in the form of by using text to speech. Okay, now let us move and see how speech signal look like. Can you able to see my screen?
Yes, sir, it is visible, sir.
Yeah, okay. I'm just trying to open one speech signal and show it to you, how speech signal look like. Okay, this is how your speech signal look like. Okay, I think you can able to see the speech waveform. Here there are three kinds of things will be there in speech signal. One is the voiced speech, this high SNR regions, this is the voiced speech, and this low SNR region, this is the unvoiced speech. And these are somewhere, in between, some silence will be there because we continuously can't speak. In between we give some pauses. Okay, so these are pauses. And unvoiced speech and voiced speech, you want to know the difference. In speech means you will speak any language, and any language will have two kinds of sounds. One is vowel and consonants. All vowels are voiced, and some consonants are voiced or unvoiced. And what is the meaning of voiced and unvoiced? If you want to know, actually, one second. Let me open. Okay, yeah. So this is how speech signal look like, and yeah. Can you see this table? I think yes, right? Can you able to see this table now? Hello? Okay, okay. So this consonants and vowels, you want to know what is the difference, and before that, how speeches comes out is that your lungs will give you the required energy. That air will flows to these vocal folds. If you put your hand on your neck, you can see there are vocal folds vibrate, and then your oral cavity and nasal cavity acts as a resonator. Your oral cavity and nasal cavity acts as a resonator. From that, your speech will come out. If these vocal folds are active, then it is voiced speech. If it is not active, that is unvoiced speech. For some sounds, it is not active. For some sounds, it is active. And most part of the speech will be dominated by vowel regions. And for that, vocal folds are vibrant. And you want to know what is the vocal fold and those things. You might have heard the term pitch, right? All of you might have heard the term pitch. Everybody pitch. That you also know that male pitch, female pitch is more than male, and children pitch is more than female. And you also know that the singer's pitch is usually good. Okay, pitch is nothing but your rate of vocal fold vibration. Okay, so if that is active, and that means air, whenever that vocal folds open, air flow like impulse. Okay, and that vocal folds are active, then voiced speech will come out. And for unvoiced speech that is not active, air flow like a noise and it will come out. Okay, that is a broad classification of voiced and unvoiced. And coming to the consonants and vowels, all vowels are voiced and vocal tract also open. That means your mouth has to open to get vowel sounds. But mouth may be widely open, narrowly open, and your tongue position may be high or low. Depending on that, different sounds will come out. But for consonant side, consonants will come only if you close your mouth at some point, some articulator. Then only if you release that, then only that sound will come. For example, to easily understand, you see this sound pa, pa sound will come if you close your lips and release. Then only that sound will come. If you see a pa and ba, pa, ba, pa and ba, both are look similar while producing. You can also produce and see pa, ba. But one is the voiced and other one is unvoiced, because pa is unvoiced where your vocal folds are not active. Ba is voiced, your vocal folds are active. And you might have seen, right? While learning, we can say, we can also learn like kachata tapa, gajata daba, like that. The reason behind that is where we'll close the vocal tract system for ka is a little bit deeper. Velar, you will be little bit deeper to your mouth, okay? And palatal, alveolar, dental, and bilabial. These things you may not observe easily, but these you can observe easily. Bilabial because you are closing at the lips. Dental, ta and da, you can see ta and da, this is ta and da. This is ta. If you want to produce ta means your tongue will close the system at little bit deeper. But if you close at teeth, that is ta, dental sound. Okay. So this is a small background about speech production. And once you produce a speech, it looks like this. This contains these are the voiced speech, and these are unvoiced speech, and it looks like random signal. But another interesting point here to observe is this speech signal looks like non-stationary, right? It means obviously it is non-stationary. That means signal changes depends on what you speak, right? Signal will change depending on what you speak. But having said that, speech also can be used as a quasi-stationary signal, because if you zoom it and see, you can see some kind of periodicity in the voiced speech. It may not be true in the unvoiced speech, but voiced speech, you can see here, I zoomed the signal and see, you can see there is some kind of periodicity, right? And these cycles, that this frequency of this is nothing but your pitch, whatever I'm calling as a pitch, right? Vocal fold vibration. Yeah. So speech, you can also see there is some kind of periodicity in the speech signal. Okay. So that's why speech is called a quasi-stationary signal. And as it is a speech is a non-stationary. In strictly speaking, it is a non-stationary. So we can't process the entire speech signal or segment at a time. So we'll try to usually process a small segment by small segments called frames. And usually we take a frame size as 20 milliseconds. That means we'll take we'll take very small part of this, and we assume that within that 20 milliseconds, the 20 millisecond also came from like 20 milliseconds corresponds to 2 to 3 pitch cycles. 2 to 3 pitch cycles. We assume that within the 2 to 3 pitch cycle, my signal is stationary, and we want to extract any features from the signal for developing a machine learning techniques. We'll use the 20 millisecond frame. For example, if somebody asks you to recognize some 10 people, what you will do? You will take their name or roll number or something as a feature. Similarly, to recognize the speech, or to recognize the speaker from speech, or to recognize the language from speech, we need some features from the speech signal, right? We have to extract some features. That features we usually extract from every 20 milliseconds, because we assume that within the 20 millisecond my signal is stationary, and we'll extract those features, and those features will be used for machine learning to train your system. Okay, that is a brief introduction to speech. Just to give a interesting demo, let me do something.
మీకోసం చాలా సేపటి నుంచి చూస్తున్నాము.
Can you hear me the sound? Can you hear the sound?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It is audible, sir.
Okay. So now this is the normal signal. Okay, I am playing again. This is the normal signal.
మీకోసం చాలా సేపటి నుంచి చూస్తున్నాము.
You might have heard about Talking Tom, right? Talking Tom, that whenever you give some voice, output comes like a some cat kind of voice, right? So that can be done in one command in MATLAB. Just you play it with high sampling rate. Because of that, what happens is that your pitch increases, because actually what they are doing is oversampling of the signal. Then pitch increases. Because of pitch increase, you will perceive it like a cat voice kind of. Okay, I think all of you might have heard. I'm playing it again for you. Okay, same signal, just we oversampled, and we can also do undersampling. Okay, can you guess what happens now if you do the reverse? Earlier I done oversampling. Because of that, what happened, that female voice will become kind of cattish voice. Now what will happen? Now what will happen? Okay, it will become male voice, but if you observe earlier, it become faster. Now it becomes slower.
మీకోసం చాలా సేపటి నుంచి చూస్తున్నాము.
For the same signal, if you decrease the sampling rate, what happened? That pitch increased. Because of that, it became like a male voice, and also duration increased. Now the same thing, let us say I want to make neutral speech as an anger speech. Today I'm not touching much upon AI and machine learning approaches or applications. Now today's session I'm focusing more on speech, because many of you may not know what is speech. Speech related things only I'm discussing, okay, to make you comfortable. Tomorrow onwards, AI I will discuss. Let us say by using some signal processing, I want to can I make a neutral speech to anger speech? Okay, but here what I need to do to make neutral to anger, whenever you are becoming anger, you tend to speak fastly. There is here, if you increase the sampling rate, speech becoming faster, but the problem is speech becoming faster, but it becoming somebody's voice. But what I want is, I want speaker to be preserved and let it become anger speech. Let it become anger speech. So we used some prosody modification, that is called prosody. That means you want to increase the pitch, decrease the pitch, increase the duration and decrease the duration, or you want to change the energy. Those operational modification in speech, we want to do that, but without losing the speaker identity, okay, speaker characteristics. Okay, so long back, 5-6 years back, some of my interns do this work. Can you listen the output?
మీకోసం చాలా సేపటి నుంచి చూస్తున్నాము.
I think they played together. Don't worry, I play one by one. This is the input.
మీకోసం చాలా సేపటి నుంచి చూస్తున్నాము.
Output is this one.
మీకోసం చాలా సేపటి నుంచి చూస్తున్నాము.
And do you think that speaker is preserved and it become kind of anger? Because anger expression for everybody may not be same, but can you see that? I'm playing again. First one is the neutral, second one is the anger.
మీకోసం చాలా సేపటి నుంచి చూస్తున్నాము. మీకోసం చాలా సేపటి నుంచి చూస్తున్నాము.
Okay, I think you might have observed that anger, slightly anger, but speaker is same. Speaker characteristics are preserved. It is same female speaker, looks like same female speaker is speaking. Okay, so similarly, let me give you a small demo on speech to speech translation. Right now we have not developed that system, but we are using the existing APIs for that. Let me show you the demo.
Greetings to one and all. We are from Speech Processing Laboratory, IIIT, Hyderabad. Today, we are going to show you a demonstration on speech-to-speech translation. Our speech-to-speech translation application is a coupling of ASR module, machine translation module, TTS module, respectively. In general, ASR stands for Automatic Speech Recognition. The main purpose of an ASR is to convert the speech utterance into its transcript. MT stands for Machine Translation, which is translating the text from one language to another. TTS stands for Text to Speech. The output from machine translation is fed to TTS module. In our GUI, we have 3 sections. 1 ASR, 2 machine translation, 3 TTS. In each of these 3 sections, we have 3 radio buttons. These radio buttons are used to select from which API we have to use the corresponding modules. So here I am going to select ASR from Google, MT from Microsoft's Azure API for translation purpose, and in TTS section I am going to select Google. Initially, we will pick a few of the audio samples from our Prime Minister's Narendra Modi ji's Mann Ki Baat sessions and try to convert it to English language. That is, the audio file which we have taken here is from Mann Ki Baat, one of the Mann Ki Baat session. So the target language is to be English and the source language is the language which the utterance has been picked. Here, I will be converting it from Hindi to English. So, the input text stands for ASR's output, which is the first block of our system. Output text is the translated text in English. It says that we can give message for saving water in palaces from the very affected part. Let's hear the input, which is
इन मेलों में पानी बचाने का संदेश हम बड़े ही प्रभावी ढंग से दे सकते हैं.
This is a sample which we have taken. Now let's hear the output, which is translated one to English.
We can give the message of saving water in palaces from the very affected part.
Now let us record few samples and test our application. So my source language would be Hindi and target language is English. Sir, Bharat Ratna Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam जी का जन्मदिन अक्टूबर महीने का 15 तारीख को आ रहा है. This is the ASR output and the translated one is in English. It says, Sir, Bharat Ratna Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam's birthday is coming on the 15th of the October. So let's hear the output first.
Sir Bharat Ratna Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam's birthday is coming on the 15th of October.
And let's hear the input now. Sir, Bharat Ratna Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam जी का जन्मदिन अक्टूबर महीने का 15 तारीख को आ रहा है. Now, the recorded speech gives exactly what is expected. So now, let me take another utterance from one of the sessions of Man Ki Baat. I would be converting it to Telugu. So, the input says,
मन की बात हमेशा की तरह.
this is the input.
ఎప్పటిలాగే.
So, here there is an issue, which is, in the original utterance, there is a word Man Ki Baat, whereas the translated is missing it. I mean, the word Man Ki Baat is being deleted. Now, let's change the target language to English and check with the same utterance whether the word Man Ki Baat is present in the translated one or not. So, let me play the input once again.
मन की बात हमेशा की तरह.
The output is as follows.
As always.
So, even in the English, there is an ambiguity with the word Man Ki Baat, which is the word Man Ki Baat is also deleted even in the English. Now, we will be testing our application with domain-specific data. So, in this case, I would be recording a domain data in English, which is our source language, and I would be converting it to Hindi as well as Telugu. So, for this purpose, ASR is from Google, machine translation is from Microsoft, and TTS is from Google.
Anyway, this is the application of speech-to-speech translation, and yeah. I think I'll stop here today. I can take some questions and then, yeah. I will talk about AI from tomorrow. And today I tend to give some speech processing review and some demos what we are doing. Okay. Can we take up some questions now? We have some 5 minutes.
Yes, sir. Is anybody having the doubts regarding the session? Please raise your hands. We will unmute you so that you can clarify your doubts. We request all the participants who are having the doubts, please raise your hand.
Yeah, what is the difference between voice and speech? Okay, good question. There are three terms like audio, voice, and speech. We'll use them as a synonyms, but they are not synonyms. Speech means, as in the beginning I said, speech is the legal sequence of legal sounds produced by human being. Okay. So when there should be meaning and there should be legal sequence is there, everything is there, then that is speech. Audio means speech plus music. That is obvious that audio has speech and also music is involved. Voice is voice can be anything like some sound also you can make and it may not have any meaning. Okay. So speech means which has some meaning, legal sequence and legal sounds produced by human being. Okay. Sometimes people use that voice and speech as synonyms, but yeah, voice can also voice or you can think like speech is a subpart of voice. Voice can be something which may not have meaning. What is human voice and what is human voice and speech frequency range? Okay, is it different for gender? Gender only plays role in case of that F0 fundamental frequency. That pitch only changes. Female pitch is more than male pitch, but the overall speech sounds, if you say, there most of the speech sounds will be from 0 to 4 kilohertz, but some sounds like fricatives like sharp, like that. Though those will have fricatives will have like Shah and those things will have energy up to 8 kilohertz, 5 to 8 kilohertz. That's why in mobiles, if somebody is speaking fricatives, you can't recognize them properly because that frequencies are not preserved. Sampling rate is only 8 kilohertz. That means up to 4 kilohertz frequencies only will be preserved. How good is this speech processing for disease recognition through voice? If it is a speech disorder, yes, we can try something and do, but even but I'm not pretty sure that how reliable is that. We can't take risk in case of health. So speech disorder, a lot of analysis. Even we are doing a lot of analysis on speech pathology. One thing I forgot to mention is that anyway tomorrow I'm willing to mention is that a lot of these systems, whatever discussed today, speech recognition, speaker recognition, language, and emotion, all these are come to kind of saturation because now the industry has taken over these applications, building applications around it. Because of increasing the amount of data and these deep neural networks, performance are pretty good. So now that those are the conventional problems. Now we are moving towards other problems of speech like speech-to-speech machine translation. That is not fully solved problem. And another very important problem we are working is a speech pathological processing. That pathological speech, that is autism problem or dysarthric speech, or those problems. Still data is not there and deep learning can't solve those problems right away. So we are still working on those. That otherwise classical problems of speech are kind of solved right now because of advancement of deep learning and availability of the data. What is the human voice frequency range? 0 to 4 kilohertz frequency range. But ideally, if you want 0 to 8 kilohertz, early recognition of paralysis might be some dysarthria will come after paralysis or after stroke. It will come the dysarthria disorder, and maybe it's for all these things. Data is key. Okay, for machine learning, data is the key. But if we may not have the data. Somebody before paralysis, after paralysis. Same person data if you have like that, if you have good amount of data from different subjects, we can analyze and see, but that collection of that data is very not possible easily, right? We don't know when somebody gets paralysis, and we don't know what is their normal speech before and after paralysis or just before paralysis. So if the data is available now, machine learning is promising that, you know, whatever on problem, whatever you want to work, if you have a good amount of reliable data, then those can be done. Yeah, slides I will share in the end. Yeah. So, and somebody is asking, I missed something here. MATLAB examples of speech coding and so that we can practice at our own. There is a voice box. There is a toolbox called voice box. Okay, you just download voice box from MATLAB codes. There's basic enhancement algorithm and this coding, LPC coding. Those are already available in that. I will also show. I think you are able to see my screen. Let me show you that voice box. Okay, this is the voice box, that speech processing toolbox for MATLAB. Already some of these functions are already available in MATLAB later versions. Now you can see you want to do speech enhancement or speech coding. These are already available here. You can go through, you just click on that, you can get the programs related to that. You can practice. I hope Pradeep Garu, I answered you. Yeah, human voice frequency is from 0 to 8 kHz, but 0 to 4 kHz is enough to understand. Okay, I think if you have any more questions, you can keep it for tomorrow, and tomorrow we'll give maybe overview of machine learning and deep learning, and then later we'll move on to speech applications. Yeah, can we close the session today?
Yes, sir. Smriti ma'am, you
Thank
can
you very
conclude.
much, sir, for this wonderful session.
Yeah.
And we also thank all the participants for your active participation. We look forward to meet you all in virtual summit tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you.